we're here in Beaver Stadium following Penn State's 44-7 victory over Maryland. With Michigan's win over Ohio State earlier today, Penn State has clinched a spot in the Big Ten championship game next Saturday against Oregon. It was a very sloppy start for Penn State at the beginning of this one, but they were able to turn around and get it done in a big way. Avery, kind of what were your initial takeaways from this one?
Just like you said, it was scary hours to start the game. You had, for Penn State fans, of course, you had the fumble from Nick Singleton. You had the Caden Prather touchdown, one-play touchdown. But all of a sudden, the defense said, we're done. It was crazy to see how dominant the defense is, even though we already know how dominant that defense is. You had, 6 sacks. I don't know how many pressures. I want to see the stats after the game because it looked like they were on top of Maryland's quarterbacks, MJ Morris and Champ Long, when he was in there for, a drive or so. Every single play. Abdul Carter's totally wrecked Maryland's offensive line. I mean, it's something we expected, but not in this realm. And then even looked at the offensive side. Of course, it took them a little bit of time. It took them until the second quarter, but once they got rolling, they didn't stop. It even went into the end of the game where James Franklin decided to go for the last-minute touchdown that did lead to the exchange with him and Mike Locksley. But overall, it was just a crazy, dominant performance from Penn State to clinch that trip to Indianapolis for the Big Ten championship against Oregon.
Yeah, you mentioned that dominance on defense. Abdul Carter had an absolutely electric day. Hit the Heisman pose after one of his sacks. I mean, he's talked a little bit. He thinks he should be in New York, but, someone else who Penn State thinks should be in New York, though, is Tyler Warren. Tyler Warren had another record-breaking day for Penn State, broke the Penn State record for most receiving touchdowns by a tight end in one's career, broke Pratt Firemont's record of 16, had his 17th today. He also broke the Big Ten record for receptions in a single season by a tight end. James Franklin was, of course, asked about him after the game, and James Franklin basically said, get the Mackey Award to Penn State overnight, put on a private jet.
Right here, right now, tonight. It should be, almost here. That's what he said.
That's basically what he said. He also said Tyler Warren should 100% be in New York. And he also said, he might send Tyler Warren's parents on a little romantic getaway so they can so they can bring more Tyler Warrens into the world for Penn State to utilize. But overall, just another huge day from Tyler Warren. Drew Aller also had a pretty solid day. I think he was 16 of 26.
Around there,
yeah 17 of 26, something around there on the day. Amari Evans had a pretty good day in terms of the wide receivers. Harrison Wallace III was questionable before the game, did not play, so that's something to monitor heading into the Big Ten Championship on Saturday. But other than that, what else did you see from the offense today?
I mean, you got to look back at the run game. Nick Singleton, he made up for that fumble. He had the fumble, then he goes and takes a kick back, 66 yards, and then he has 2 touchdowns where he had 87 rushing yards. James Franklin talked about how he's back at basically 100% now, and it showed. This is the Nick Singleton that Penn State fans have seen for 3 years. This is the Nick Singleton that Penn State fans saw against Maryland. I think it was last year where he had the 4th down, broke the tackle, went for the end zone. This was a dominant showing from the Penn State run game. I think they ran for about 220 yards, somewhere around there. So just an all-around dominant performance. It started slow for the offense, but they got it together. They're headed to Indy. And, of course, for James Franklin and Penn State, that's all that matters.
Yeah, also on the offense, Tysier Denmark had a last-second touchdown for his first career touchdown at Penn State. Afterward, James Franklin kind of heard it from Mike Locksley, and James Franklin basically said post-game, Maryland still has their ones in, and Penn State has their 3s and 4s in. James Franklin thinks the 3s and 4s should have a chance to play, and they did, and that's pretty much all he had to say about that. But overall, a dominant performance today from Penn State. They are headed to Indianapolis to face Oregon, and, we'll see if they can get that done.